Every human heart carries a longing, an unshakable desire for happiness. Across continents, cultures, and centuries, the quest has remained the same: to be free from suffering and to find lasting peace. Kings and peasants, scholars and wanderers, all seek the same treasure. Yet happiness often slips away, like water flowing through open fingers. The Buddha, born as Siddhartha Gautama, understood this restless search. He was a prince, surrounded by wealth, luxury, and pleasures. Yet he discovered that none of these could protect him from life's inevitable realities: old age, sickness, and death. His journey of renunciation and enlightenment was not to escape life, but to uncover the deep truth of happiness that lies beyond fleeting pleasures. The wisdom of the Buddha is not a promise of instant joy. It is a path subtle, compassionate, and timeless, guiding humanity toward inner freedom. In the following pages, we will journey through the Buddha's insights, parables, and practical teachings on how true happiness can be realized. Chapter 1. Understanding the nature of suffering. Happiness cannot be understood without first understanding suffering. The Buddha's first teaching, the Four Noble Truths, begins with this recognition. Life, as ordinarily lived, contains dukkha, a Pali word often translated as suffering, dissatisfaction, or restlessness, the suffering of pain, sickness, loss, grief, the suffering of change, the anxiety of losing what we love, the suffering of conditioning, the subtle unease that nothing is ever truly permanent. This may sound pessimistic, but in reality, it is the most compassionate truth. For when we see suffering clearly, we stop running away from it. Imagine a physician diagnosing a hidden illness. Only through diagnosis can healing begin. The Buddha compared our ordinary happiness to a traveler resting in the shade of a tree during summer. The shade feels pleasant, but the heat of the sun remains all around. True happiness, he taught, is not temporary relief but liberation from the heat itself. Chapter 2. The root of unhappiness. Why do human beings suffer even when surrounded by comfort? The Buddha pointed to craving, tanha. It is not desire in the simple sense of wanting food or shelter, but a deep clinging, the grasping mind that says, I must have this to be happy, or I must get rid of this to be at peace. We crave wealth, fearing poverty. We crave praise, fearing blame. We crave pleasure, fearing pain. This endless push and pull binds us to discontent. Even when our desires are fulfilled, the satisfaction is short-lived. Like drinking salty water, the more we indulge, the thirstier we become. But craving is not our enemy, it is simply a misunderstanding. We believe happiness lies outside, in possessions or recognition, when in reality it is a quality of the mind. By seeing this clearly, we loosen the grip of craving and discover a happiness that does not depend on circumstances. Chapter 3. The Middle Way. When Siddhartha left the palace, he first tried extreme asceticism, starving himself, enduring harsh practices, nearly dying in the process. But he realized that self-torture was no path to wisdom. Just as indulgence had failed him, so did extreme renunciation. He remembered a simple childhood moment, sitting under a rose apple tree, watching the breeze sway the branches, feeling a gentle peace in his heart. It was not the peace of possession or renunciation, but the natural ease of a balanced mind. This became the foundation of the middle way, a path beyond extremes. Not indulgence, not self-mortification, but moderation and mindfulness. The middle way teaches us that happiness is not found in the highs and lows of chasing desires, but in the steady clarity of awareness. Like the strings of a lute, if pulled too tight, they break. If too loose, they produce no sound. Only with balance comes harmony. Chapter 4. The Eightfold Path to Happiness. The Buddha's wisdom is practical, not merely philosophical. He gave a roadmap to happiness, the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, seeing life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Right intention, cultivating kindness, compassion, and simplicity. Right speech, words that heal, not harm. Right action, living ethically, avoiding harm to others. Right livelihood, earning a living in a way that supports peace. Right effort, nurturing wholesome qualities, abandoning unwholesome ones. Right mindfulness, being fully present, aware of body, mind, and feelings. Right concentration, deep meditation, leading to clarity and freedom. Each step is both a practice and a source of happiness. For example, right speech protects us from the turmoil of lies and gossip. Right mindfulness frees us from being trapped in regrets of the past or anxieties of the future. Together, the path creates a foundation where happiness naturally blossoms. Chapter 5. Happiness through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the heart of Buddhist practice. It means simple, bare awareness, knowing what is happening in the present moment without judgment. When we are mindful, we discover joy in ordinary things. The taste of food, the sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight. Suffering arises when the mind runs away into worries, comparisons, and expectations. But happiness is always available now. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This teaching may sound simple, but it is profoundly transformative. Imagine eating a meal while lost in thought versus eating with full awareness. The same food becomes more nourishing, more alive. The secret is not in the food, but in the presence of the mind. Chapter 6. Compassion as a source of happiness. The Buddha taught that happiness is not only an inward journey, but also a relationship with others. When we cling only to our own happiness, it becomes fragile. But when we open our hearts in compassion, happiness multiplies. He compared compassion, karuna, to the gentle rain that falls on all beings, regardless of whether they deserve it. Just as a candle loses nothing by lighting another, our joy expands when we bring joy to others. Modern science confirms this. Acts of kindness increase well-being, reduce stress, and create stronger connections. But the Buddha had already seen this thousands of years ago. Anger is like holding a burning coal, hoping to throw it at someone else, but burning ourselves first. Forgiveness and compassion release us from that fire. Thus, compassion is not a moral duty, but a direct path to happiness. Chapter 7. Non-attachment and freedom. One of the most misunderstood teachings of the Buddha is non-attachment. People fear it means indifference or lack of love, but in truth, it means loving without clinging. Attachment says, "You must be mine," or "I cannot be happy." Non-attachment says, "I love you and I wish for your happiness, even if it is not with me." This freedom allows love to be pure. Non-attachment is like holding a bird in open palms, allowing it to come and go freely. The joy lies in seeing it fly, not in caging it. The Buddha taught that when we free ourselves from clinging, our hearts open to a deeper happiness, one not threatened by loss. Chapter 8. Contentment and simplicity. In a world driven by consumerism, the Buddha's teaching of santuti, contentment, is revolutionary. He said, "Contentment is the greatest wealth. True happiness does not come from having more, but from needing less. A poor man who is content sleeps peacefully, while a rich man, consumed by greed, knows no rest." Simplicity is not poverty, it is clarity. It means recognizing what truly matters: peace of mind, love, wisdom, and letting go of excess. When we practice gratitude and simplicity, happiness shines like a lamp in a dark room. Chapter 9. Happiness in meditation. Meditation is the laboratory where Buddha's wisdom becomes experience. Sitting quietly, observing the breath, we see the restless mind. Thoughts arise, memories, plans, worries. But instead of being carried away, we watch them pass like clouds in the sky. Gradually, the mind settles. A quiet joy arises, not dependent on external objects, but on the stillness itself. This meditative joy is different from excitement or thrill. It is serene, stable, nourishing. From this foundation, deeper insights arise. the impermanence of all things, the interconnectedness of life, the spacious freedom of the awakened mind. The Buddha called this joy sukha, a happiness that is steady, not shaken by storms of circumstance. Chapter 10. The highest happiness, Nibbana. All the Buddha's teachings point toward the ultimate happiness, Nibbana, or Nirvana. This is not a heaven or a place, but a state of liberation from craving, hatred, and delusion. In Nibbana, the fire of suffering is extinguished. The mind is free, vast, luminous. The Buddha described it as the highest bliss, the end of suffering, the unshakable peace. Few may reach this ultimate realization, but even glimpses of the path bring profound happiness. Every step away from greed, hatred, and ignorance is a step toward freedom. Conclusion. Walking the path of happiness. The Buddha's wisdom is not abstract philosophy, but living guidance. Happiness is not something to chase. It is something to uncover already present when the clouds of craving, ignorance, and fear are removed. We find happiness in mindfulness of the present moment, in compassion for others, in contentment with what we have, in freedom from clinging, in walking the middle way. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Happiness is not a distant dream, but a path we can walk every day. With awareness, compassion, and wisdom, each moment becomes a step toward lasting joy.